Hello and welcome to this episode of Victoriana as we continue our little North Staffordshire Railway theme and look at the other surviving North Staffs Locomotive, NSR number 1, a battery electric shunter built in 1917. The electric locomotive is of some antiquity. The first practical battery electric locomotive was built and demonstrated in Scotland by the Scottish engineer Robert Davidson. He built a model in 1837 and demonstrated a full-size version in September 1842. It was tested on the Edinburgh and Glasgow Railway. Named after the Italian physician Luigi Galvani, it was capable of moving a load of 6 tons at a speed of 4 to 5 miles per hour and ran for a distance of about 1.5 miles. It was powered using 60 galvanic cells of alternative zinc and iron plates. Flushed with success, Davidson proclaimed the electric locomotive would soon replace a noisy, dirty and dangerous steam locomotive. Sadly for him, disgruntled railway workers destroyed his test vehicle, but the proof of concept was there. Next came an American, Charles Page, in 1851. Whereas Davidson had used electromagnetism to induce rotary motion, Page instead used it to create reciprocating motion with a soft iron bar moving to and fro within 2 electromagnetic coils. A connecting rod and crank was used to generate useful rotary motion. His locomotive, named the Jumper, was able to run at speeds of up to 10 miles per hour and cover a distance of 2 miles. A public trial was made in April 1851, but sadly the crew were often overcome by the fumes from the batteries. The first practical electric railway was of course built in Berlin by Werner von Siemens in 1881, and the oldest electric railway still in operation today is the Volks Electric Railway in Brighton, which opened in 1883. The London Underground first used electric locomotives in 1889 with a series of locomotives built by Bayer Peacock of Manchester. So when the North Staffordshire Railway ordered a battery electric locomotive in 1917, it was not a new idea. The little engine was designed to be as light as possible and was a product of the North Staffordshire Railway's locomotive superintendent J.A. Hookham and the electrical engineer A.F. Rock. It was very, very similar to one previously built for the Midland Railway in 1913. This little locomotive had 2 traction motors powered by a battery of 108 cells providing 250 volts. The enormous battery is carried in the 2 bonnets fore and aft and weighs over 6 tons out of a total weight of 17 tons. The locomotive is capable of moving a load of 90 tons at a speed of 10 miles an hour. It was regarded as being able to do the work of 3 horses and was put to work shunting at the Oakermore Copper Works siding in the Churnut Valley on the North Staffordshire Railway. On one charge, it could work for 6 hours and only needed a single crew member. There was no time wasted in lighting a fire and raising boiler pressure, or dirty ashes and cinders to dispose of at the end of the day. Given the number 1, she only had 2 drivers. The first was Arthur Adams, who had joined the North Staffordshire Railway in 1916, but died prematurely in 1932. He was succeeded by Bill Prime, who would drive the little engine until she was withdrawn from service in 1963. Number 1 was preserved and moved to Shugborough Hall as part of the Museum of Staffordshire Life in 1968, and entered the UK's National Collection in 1975. So that's been a quick look at a locomotive for which batteries were most certainly included, a type of mainline motive power which is certainly making a comeback in Europe, and indeed she is the oldest surviving mainline battery-powered locomotive in preservation. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and if you have, please show your appreciation by liking, sharing and subscribing. If you feel able, you can also support this channel on Patreon and get early access to channel content for as little as a takeaway cup of coffee once per month. And I look forward to seeing you all next time on Rail Story.